Hello and welcome to CAFOD Share the Journey podcast, episode 2, No Longer a Child Refugee. My name is Sam and I work in the campaigns team at CAFOD. Our latest campaign, Share the Journey, has been inspired by Pope Francis's call to share the journey with migrants and refugees. During this podcast, you are going to hear stories from around the world of people on the move. We are also sharing the stories of CAFOD supporters who have taken part in their own solidarity walks.
Hello, my name's Rosie and I work in the CAFOD Salford office. I'm here today at Holy Family College in Haywood to speak to a couple of the 700 pupils involved in their mile-long Share the Journey walk and to find out why they got involved.
Hi, I'm Patricia and I'm in Year 9 at Holy Family College.
Hi, I'm Kira and I'm in Year 9.
Hi, I'm Emily and I'm in Year 10.
Hi, I'm Nicola and I'm in Year 9.
We're sharing the journey!
How did you find your experience today of the Share the Journey walk?
I think it was a very good experience because we felt like we were joining with the community and also kind of helping other people around the world and really sharing their journey across the continents and being refugees and being able to find hope somewhere else.
Usually we raise a lot of money for CAFOD, but the walk was a good way to remember how the refugees around the world who are in need, and it also shows that it isn't just about the money.
We hope that in the future other CAFOD supporters will also do the same and follow our lead and also do the walk because it's a great thing to do. It shows solidarity to all the other people in the world who are feeling down and who don't have hope for the future, and we had a really nice time on the walk as well.
How do you feel that your faith guides you in how we respond to the refugee crisis?
Well, as a Roman Catholic, I believe in the saying, treat others as you would like to be treated. So, to me, that saying means that if someone is in need to help, then I should help them. If I would be in need, they would then help me.
It was a great experience with both our Church of England students and Roman Catholic students to come together to work toward this goal, because both sides of our faith is telling us to help these people in need, and us being able to unite to be able to help these people was a great experience to be a part of.
Thanks to everyone I spoke to today and everyone who is and will be taking part in Share the Journey walks across England and Wales. The thousands of miles walked really will show both local and world leaders that we, as a Catholic community, are standing alongside people on the move.
Lebanon is a small country, half the size of Wales, struggling to host over 1 million Syrian refugees and over 400,000 Palestinian refugees. Now, almost 40% of the population are Syrian and Palestinian refugees. Most people live in overcrowded, poor conditions, are unemployed, do not have proper rights, and are unable to access public services. Approximately half of these refugees arrived to Lebanon as children, but as many conflicts, including the Syrian war, stretch out into years, many are growing up without a permanent home. This means potentially years of missed education, unstable living conditions, and a lack of normality in their lives. CAFOD's partner Caritas Lebanon is providing food, shelter, healthcare, and medical supplies to thousands of refugees and host communities. Caritas Lebanon are working to build up cooperatives in which Syrian refugees and Lebanese young people develop life skills and play a part in building up their local community. These projects include training and educating Palestinian refugees so they can find work and are not reliant on aid. We spoke to some of the young refugees who have been part of the Caritas Lebanon program.
اسمي وسام عموري عمري 27 سنة.
My name is Wessam. I am 27 years old. I entered with my family to the Lebanon in 2012. There were some difficulties because my mother stayed in Syria. We came to Lebanon directly to the camp, and one day the camp was destroyed. Here the situation is very miserable. There is no work. As a dentist, I cannot work in Lebanon. Palestinians are not even allowed to work in this field. Also, the situation is very difficult to renew residency, as we are not allowed to renew it every time. Association Najdeh is a charity that helps a lot of people. I know it is helping us in legal protection issues, giving money for visa cards for people. Everyone should have the right to live a decent life, have the right to move freely where they want, have the right to find a job, be educated, go to school, or go to university. There are a lot of problems for Palestinian Syrians. These problems must be solved. In Syria, there's no difference between Palestinians and Syrians. There's no discrimination. There's no legal residency that has to be renewed. We were treated like Syrians. We could go to university, to school. We can find jobs, even formal jobs in the government. Everything was secure for us. We could move freely. There was access to electricity, access to water. If you had health problems, you could go to hospital as a Syrian citizen and were treated on the account of the government. We didn't pay money in hospitals. I hope that we can return to Syria, and if we can't return, I hope that I can find a job so I can work and secure a decent life.
الاسم أحمد وليد الحريري. جيت من سوريا يعني
لعمر 19 سنة. I came from Syria after the war broke out. I am 19 years old. We chose to come to Lebanon because it was the easiest way and the nearest country to us, and because renting a house is not very expensive compared to outside the camp, because we can't afford the rents outside the camp. Living here in the camp is very hard. There is no work. I am jobless. We are sitting here just waiting for help and funding from charities like Association Najdeh. Our life has changed completely from what we are used to in Syria. In Syria, we moved freely wherever we wanted to go. Here, it's very hard. I cannot renew my residency, so I cannot go out of the camp. I was introduced to Association Najdeh by the people who came to give help. Association Najdeh help us every month with a $50 visa card, and I work 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, for $50 also. I also attend some of the activities in the camp. One of the main problems I am facing is renewing my residency in Lebanon. I went once to renew, but not again, as the general security treated people in a very bad way, as if they are not humans, and I don't have the money to pay the general security every 6 months. So the money I have, I prefer to use to buy food and feed my family. I hope that anyone could help us, help the Palestinian refugees in Lebanon, as they all need help, and I hope that nobody witnesses what we have witnessed, because what we have witnessed is very difficult, and of course, if there was no crisis in Syria, I would go back. Living here is not living. In Syria, you can live a decent life.
اسمي آية عمري 22 سنة أنا بدرس علم نفس بالجامعة اللبنانية ب
My name is Aya. I am 22 years old. I am from Syria. I came here 5 years ago. I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. I am studying psychology at university and started volunteering at the social centre. It was very hard for me at the beginning, as a Syrian girl in Lebanon, to have my rights, to get my rights to study, but as things went along, it started to get better. I started at Caritas in the summer camp, where we went to renovate houses and things like that. Caritas is not just about these activities and projects. It's working in a sustainable way, teaching us how to teach others, helping us to help others. Caritas is building up capacities so we can help other people. The youth are the spirit of the community, so without the youth, the community will not be as good as it is now. They are the base of all communities. I hope that every person can find peace within themselves, because once they do that, all violence will stop, because we will start accepting one another. I think refugees should be given the chance to express themselves, and we should work on building up their capacities and using them to build up their communities. Thank you for listening to us, talking to us, and hearing our messages.
Now we are going to close with a short time to reflect.
We have seen from the mountaintop place, like Moses lost in the face of God, and while uniquely knitted into wombs of little mothers, we're woven together in fabric which covers the earth and makes us one, drenched in the light of the glistening sun. United, excited as heat and praise rises, water baptizes, and with arms open wide, his glory echoes across meadowed expanses and uninterrupted distance. Moments stretch out into timeless existence. But as day breaks and all the promise of morning slips away, seeping under cracks in doors we close on yesterday's climb, we trudge begrudgingly back to our houses, back down from the mountain to build up walls surrounding us, contented in proclivity. Joy evaporating into clouds thick with passivity. But when the memories are lost, or the cost of action seems too much to bear, listen for that whisper, soft, floating in the air, a word to these clouds that their burden is now in his hands. Trust that even if we became cold through old habits, our planet has a system that by his infinite wisdom relies on clouds going heavy until they are ready to burst, pouring fresh water to revive the thirsting dirt, crying out, softening the rocks of our hearts till we're saturated by grace. So weather this storm, because he's coming like rain to permeate the veins of every living soul. We'll stretch out our hands and cascade with the song of his freedom and his peace and his truth and his patience. Let's be gracious. We're all made for honest work, though we've been told to make us work is disservice, and that disjunction is tearing apart the function of our hearts, which are literally made to bleed. Don't cauterize the ache, his heart is breaking too, and changed by love we will break chains with love, restless anticipation transformed to precipitation that will set into motion a tide rushing through floodgates of control, freeing the hold of those tied to fear and drowning in oppression, restoring dignity to the lost, and those sinking in depression, for tethered into his yoke you will not plant alone, and even those who sow in tears will reap with singing. Because we can sit inside and write stories until our cheeks turn blue, and the knuckles of our fingers come unglued, but there's no better story than the one that's writing you. So give over those hands and live out the plans to prosper you, to give you hope and a future, and know that you are not just somebody, but you are somebody, his body, that every body flows from the same source, coursing, guided by steadfast currents, we are boundless living waters, to be nothing more or less than his precious sons and daughters. We have seen from the mountaintop place, like Moses lost in the face of God, and while uniquely knitted into wombs of little mothers, we're woven together in fabric which covers the earth and makes us one, drenched in the light of the glistening sun, united, excited as heat and praise rises, water baptizes, and with arms open wide, his glory echoes across meadowed expanses and uninterrupted distance. Moments stretch out into timeless existence, till through spirit and fire the Father's will done. So burn brightly, beloved, make his kingdom come.
Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. None of our work is possible without supporters like you. As you've heard in this podcast, we stand beside people from all over the world, whatever their religion or culture. We campaign for global justice so that everyone can reach their full potential. If you want to find out more about our work, please visit cafod.org.uk. And if you're interested in campaigning, why not sign up to our monthly campaigning e-newsletter? Visit cafod.org.uk/how-to-campaign. Finally, remember to follow us on our social media channels. Search @CAFOD on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.